Hey everybody, welcome back to the Overwatch Project. It's December 22nd, 2021, and I wanted to make this kind of a special video. Yes, I'm sort of back on YouTube for this video also, and it's going to be on BitChute and Odysee after it populates to those other sites from here. Because it's just kind of a correction and update video, and I got a little sidetracked over the last 18 months or so for obvious reasons. I think we all have. But I learned some things along the way, and I wanted to make a bit of a correction here. So I think I was this Matrix reincarnation trap, soul trap that is Earth, this evil place, has many different ways to distract you or sidetrack you or try to get you off course, especially the closer you get to the truth or how to get out of here. So the solution is actually quite simple. I'm just going to come out and tell you right here in the beginning. The way to escape the reincarnation trap, to get beyond the astral planes, to go beyond everything that's here that's designed to recycle you back or keep you in this loosh farm, is to simply, completely embrace your individuality, your personal sovereignty with no attachments to anything else, and to be able to not consent, do not consent to anything that you don't want to consent to. So that means that absolutely under no circumstances do you consent to going anywhere, listening to anybody, believing whatever, if you want to. I think you would be able to intentionally place yourself in a place of neutrality where you can observe and learn and take your time and study and then grow on from there. But this is clearly a thing that's happened to me. So, for example, a while ago, I told you about Cyrus here, Kirkpatrick, and I recommended his channel to a lot of people. To be quite honest, I don't know what's going on here. This some of his latest content is so different, and he got me distracted almost to thinking that the astral plane was somehow separate than the Earth Matrix reincarnation trap, but really, I don't think that's the case. And plus, I really don't know what's going on here with this new content. It's really bizarre. This is probably the best channel I've come across. Been re-listening to his newest material, and some of the content here is probably the best for understanding the Matrix reincarnation soul trap that we're in here. And Forever Consciousness Research channel is the content here is absolutely amazing. There's a video here with that covers like a William Bullman. Here it is right here. This particular video, probably one of the must listen to. I think I'll link to it below. So let's see. I found this interesting video the other day. I don't know anything about this guy. I think he's more like a revivalist of the old pagan Norse Viking type spirituality, which is fine, But again, all part of the reincarnation matrix. Anyway, this thing here about the how the it's intellect control that's affected a lot of people. And it's probably a video worth listening to. I'll have to link to it. And this was interesting. I didn't hear about this before, but apparently there's a dye you can put in, or you can buy glasses with a certain dye that can help you see auras around people. This is very interesting. I'll link to that. But anyway, so the point is that you get sidetracked by different things. We live in a world that is controlled by basically archontic mimicry. And the archontic mimicry kind of mimics the archontic spirituality, which is more like parasitic soul trap that we exist in. And there's a difference, though. The physical world here, where we have physical bodies, we are born with amnesia. You're ignorant. You're kind of hypnotized until you're about 7 years old. So all kinds of garbage is shoved into your subconscious. After that, the schooling, whatever religious thing you happen to be born into, whatever your parents dump into you or your relatives, friends, etc., all the life experiences, it all piles on one thing after another. It's amazing anybody can figure anything out here at all. And there are comfortable lies that you can fall into that, whether it's a religion or something like that. And people are, the brain is a great limiter of the consciousness. It is a struggle. And even I, with all my effort, I admit that I've gotten sidetracked in the last 18 months. So I wanted to tell you some of the mistakes I made and some of the things I learned from those mistakes. I started to focus on the anarchist movement, the real anarchist movement, which is more freedom-oriented than anything else. And, I'm sure you've heard me countless times talk about Mark Passio and his natural law stuff. And a lot of this stuff contains a lot of truth. It does contain a lot of truth. But let me give you an example of how I think some of this stuff gets it wrong. So Mark Passio is very closed-minded, I think, because he gets very angry. He's very sure of himself and kind of very agitated. Some of the stuff that I figure out is because I go into the whole process of absorbing what somebody's telling me, and then it takes me a while to figure out what's wrong with it, if that makes any sense. So Mark Passio, for example, or the anarchist movement or the natural rights movement out there that promotes natural law, which is essentially the same rights that is spelled out in our Bill of Rights in the United States. It's the rights of every individual sovereignty. It's the sovereignty and the nature of the individual. The problem is, and one of the things that I think I can say is that Mark Passio and others like him have the entire thing backward, inverted. So, for example, Mark Passio thinks he's trying to fix the world. He's trying to fix the world because there is such a thing as natural law and natural rights, and that for some reason these things are hidden from us, and that therefore we need to fix the world to get that back on track. And I think in actuality it's inverted. Mark Passio, he doesn't understand, I don't think he understands this. He's trying to break the world. He's trying to wreck it because the world, in my theory, is completely working as designed, as intended. It's an evil place designed by an evil designer, and it is a reincarnation, soul matrix, a loosh farm. You can call it lots of different things. They all kind of mean the same thing. This place is working as intended. You consented to be here, and you can not consent after you finish this mortal life. When your physical body dies, you can not consent, and then you can be free. That's why this particular analysis from Forever Consciousness with William Baldwin is probably a must listen to. I think this one is probably the best podcast I've heard about the death process and getting free from here. But essentially, the whole point is that the freedom, the real freedom, comes from not consenting. because everything is done through consent. Now, in the physical world, we exist in these mortal bodies with amnesia, with a tremendous amount of cognitive issues. Our consciousness is essentially severely handicapped via our physical body and our brain. So we're afraid. Well, you can lose your fear of death. There are so many people so terrified of death, yet it's inevitable. Everybody here dies eventually. That it's kind of like this really psychotic behavior where you'll do anything to stay alive, including subjugate yourself. And there's a difference. So there's a difference between complying here on Earth and understanding that you're being coerced into doing things. So if you're a free mind on Earth, you can look at things as a coerced environment where you make tactical decisions to comply under duress with certain things. For example, if you didn't realize about the reincarnation matrix and you didn't realize about evil Earth, and you ended up, say, getting married, having a child, owning a house, and maybe you've tried to awaken your family members to what's going on, etc., but you have limited success, or maybe you do have success, but there's still the conscious, subconscious issue, and you perceive this holographic reality as real as it gets, and so you have to make decisions. You might logically and honestly understand that government property taxes are essentially a robbery, a theft, and extortion of your earnings, but you comply knowing that you're being robbed because of the outcome that would happen to you and your family. If you didn't know, it's not about the detachment that you have to have in the afterlife, but for the time being here on Earth, and even in the contracts that we make here on Earth, they kind of tell you the truth, right? So the conventional, traditional marriage agreement that people have is until death do us part. Isn't that interesting? That gives you an out at death. Until death do you part, meaning your contract is over then. So if you get into a contract like that and you happen to really like or love the person and you don't plan on having a divorce or whatever, and you're going to be together, you're going to have to make tactical decisions to go along with the coercive, archontic, the archon system here that mimics, it conditions your consciousness. The unaware people are all conditioned into behaving under the delusion of authority. This is why when somebody dies, the first being they encounter, they don't ask any questions. They don't say no. They don't. If they do say no, they still end up agreeing whatever the being says, whether it's a Jesus, a Buddha, some Hindu god, Allah. It doesn't matter who it is. Just some spirit guide, the three monks, the Council of Nine, whatever bullshit that appears. If you're triggered, excuse me, triggered by an authority figure, to submit yourself to authority. Yes, I do have a cold, minor cold. Sorry about that. If you're triggered to submit yourself when you encounter an authority figure, then you are going to instinctively do it in the afterlife, and this is where they get you, because there is no actual way to coerce you. They can't hold anything over you. See, here on Earth, your physical body extremely limits everything. You need some method of conveyance to travel anywhere significantly. A bicycle, a car, an airplane, a train, a bus. Something needs to take you from point A to point B. In the afterlife, beyond your physical body, you are able to travel with your intentions. You can immediately get away from these things when you encounter them in the afterlife, whether it's your relatives, your dead relatives and loved ones, angels, devils, whatever, doesn't matter. None of them can actually hurt you. None of them can actually coerce you in the afterlife. They can trick you into trying to letting you coerce yourself, but outside of that, it just doesn't work. This is why, if you listen to any of these near-death experiences, these are some condensed versions from this YouTube channel, Shaman Oaks. You'll all hear the same common elements. When you look at the some of the audit videos that are out on YouTube, there's a lot of these First Amendment or police audit videos. There's very interesting ones. Matter of fact, I would like to play a clip from this one, but I don't know if YouTube will flag it or whatever. So instead of that, I'll just link to it. This is an awesome video where this guy asserts his right, his sovereignty, his individuality over a bunch of cops here in this town. And because of the Bill of Rights, this is a must-see video. He actually asked this female sergeant here several times to arrest him. And she knows that if she does that, she'd probably lose her qualified immunity and she would be screwed, probably end up getting fired and sued. So it's hilarious to watch her try to control him in this video and not be able to. And this is here on Earth where you're kind of like at a disadvantage. But this is sort of a video where you can see what it's like if you know your rules and all the stupid matrix regulations that people write in laws and stuff like that, and legalese, and you can use that against the people that mimic archons. Imagine now in the afterlife, if you follow me, you know that when this is no longer possible, where you cannot be subdued, handcuffed, shot, imprisoned, injured, starved to death, denied transportation. None of that stuff matters. When you're really free, because outside the body, you can assert your sovereignty and get away. Go somewhere neutral outside, maybe the entire universe here, and examine things. Begin probing with your mind and learn about reality in a more significant way, until you figure out what's going on. So I hope that makes sense. My most important thing is I would recommend that you definitely check out this video from Long Island Audit titled "Arrest Me Then." And then check out this video from Forever Consciousness Research channel. Now, I am not really, there's content that I've been posting on BitChute and Odysee that is not here on YouTube. Again, a lot of my recent content is distracted. It's stuff that I need to address in this video that I was distracted. And I hope you understand what I'm saying here. I'm saying that I think when I began to realize that the ticket out of here was just assert complete and total individuality. Your individuality is the most important thing. And it's not like the same thing as like a solipsism or psychopath that has no empathy, or a sociopath that may not have any empathy to anybody else. This is a sovereignty for your personal freedom. Doesn't mean you don't care about other people and you can't love other people and you can't be friends with people. It means that you have to commit. This was the kind of thing was formulating in my head before I think I intentionally got distracted by the matrix system here because it didn't want me to focus in on this. The exit strategy is to completely embrace your individual sovereignty and do not consent to anything, and then you cannot be trapped here ever again. You can go wherever you want from there, which is unknown, but it's definitely any place where you can be alone, observe, and learn is much better than being swayed by these archons and Lush farm agents so that you'll reincarnate back here on Earth, or perhaps somewhere even worse. Who knows? Although I don't think so. This is probably the worst. So people like, just to reiterate, people like Passio and these other people think they want to fix the world. And my new look on it is that the world is not broken. So if you're trying to impose, or not impose, if you're trying to liberate the minds of the masses so that they embrace individual liberty, freedom, and natural law, you're trying to break the world, because this world is designed to trap people into groupthink. Everything here is designed to rob individuality. Whether it's the state, a religion, materialist scientific consensus, cult mind, group mind, mob mentality. That's why I'm not a guru. You shouldn't follow me, and you should do your own research. A lot of people want to be spoon-fed material, and I shouldn't even have to put the links in the description. You should be able to do the detective work and figure out where I got this stuff on the screen all by yourself. So I did make this reappearance on YouTube to correct some things that need to be correcting. I hope I made sense, because I did take Advil and Benadryl, so a little loopy right now. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.